Hello again, sir. We'll give it just a moment here and then we'll get started. So. All right, let's go and get started. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna walk through all the different one step or excuse me, all the different takedowns that we have right now. Some of them you may know. If you know it, we're just gonna kind of review, kind of go through some of the detail, and then we're also gonna work on how to fall as well, so that you know which way to go when someone's practicing on you, right? Because part of takedowns is also your ability to be able to fall down and to be able to recover and fall safely. All right. Okay. So first one. Let's see. So what we'll do is, Mr. Capshit, you're going to practice the left side on these. So you're just going to follow whatever I'm demonstrating on the screen, right? And that'll be your left side technique, all right? Okay, so first one that we usually teach is the one where when they're punching, right, you're going to step in with your left leg, right? And you're going to do an arcane block. So your arcane block is basically making a C with your hand like this, and you're coming up. So you're coming up underneath the elbow. So come up here, Miss Addie. All right, let's get close. So from here, right, I'm using my C to come up underneath. Okay, yeah. So be here. So at the same time, when we do this, when we come up, we're going to come up one, and we're going to punch at the same time. So our target for the punch should be like nose level, mouth level, face punch, right? And then we're going to come with a gut punch too. And what the punches do is just weaken our opponent, makes it a little bit easier for us to be able to do the takedown. The key here is you want to make sure that you step very narrow, because you want your foot to be right next to their foot on the inside. Okay? So, yep, so one, two. And then from here, you're going to grab the arm. You're going to pull to your opposite side, right? And when you do that, you got to make sure that don't just turn your body like this. You should actually be sliding your foot, right? So from here, when you pull, yeah, you're going to pull throw down this way. 1. Okay? So you just turned your foot. Slide more. Boom. Yes. And the reason for that is, okay, come here, Miss Addie, real quick. So do your front stance here real quick for your punch. So Mr. Captious, I want you to watch. So I'm in here, right? And I do the 1, 2 here, okay? Now when I grab and I pull, right, you're going to notice what I'm going to do is I'm going to sweep her leg with my sliding leg, right? So I'm going to slide and this way, okay? So what happens a lot of times with students, right, they just turn, right? All they do is just turn. And then, of course, she doesn't know any better, so she falls, right? But the reality is that doesn't take your opponent down, right? So in order to take him down, you have to actually sweep that foot. So it's important. Now, so my front foot is exactly in line with that camera. So then what happens here is when I pull, you see how far my leg goes over to the side? Yes. Right? That way is because it's going to be a throw, right? So you're throwing them down to the ground, right? And then you're just going to pivot to the other side and you can punch, right? Now for you, if you're going to punch, Mr. Captious, you'll drop down to a knee because you're taller. So you drop down to knee the punch, or you'll just here, stomp the back of their leg, back of their back, whatever that is. Okay? So once again, you step in, you come up. So as you're stepping in, don't just step straight in, right? Because the reality is if they're punching at you and you're just moving straight in, right, you're going to probably take a glancing blow. So a lot of times when we step, you see how I kind of tilt my body just a little bit. I kind of tilt to the side a little bit, right? That way, just a little bit of a turn of my head. That way I can come up underneath. Okay, 1, 2, and then grab, pull. Okay. So now let's play the victim here. Let's play the victim that's going to be thrown. Right. So a lot of times what you should do as you're practicing, right, role playing with your partner, right, when they do that first movement, you know, you're in your punch movement, right? So go ahead and do your punch, sir. No, you're the attacker, you're the victim, so you're gonna punch. So your right leg is in front, so switch your feet. There you go. Good. Yeah. So then from here, right, as you see this motion, right, you're going to feel me push that up, right? And then here, you want to imagine, okay, boom. My head should go back a little bit, right? For that face punch, boom. Here, there's a stomach punch, right? And then when they pull, right, this is where you just kind of drop, right? And it's easy to fall to this side. It's easy to fall because you can put your hands out in front and you can catch yourself. Okay? So see, if I have Addie do this, what's going to happen is I'm going to make her look like a all-star here, right? I'm going to sell this so that she looks so amazing when she does this, right? So when I punch here, right? You got to step on the inside, right? So, right? So she, boom, right? Ooh, right? And then when she pulls, right? So it makes it easier for her to kind of visualize what should be happening, right? What happens a lot of times, right, is people don't know what you're doing, right? Or they're not sure. And so they don't know which way to fall. So they're fighting you a little bit. So she's here, you know, maybe she stepped to the wrong side or whatever, and then she's trying to do this pull, and it doesn't look very graceful. It looks like she's like thoroughly confused. So it's important, the footwork is important. So on this particular one, we're going to be on the inside of that foot. So you want to be right on the inside, next to the foot. Okay? Yep, and then basically when they sweep, boom, you can drop, right? You can drop down, boom, this way, and just put your hands down. That's fine too. Nothing wrong with that. Okay? So that's the first one. All right. Then we have the one that's the outside in block, right? So from here, when they punch, remember, I'm going to step across with my right leg outside in. So you'll come across with your left. There you go, sir. Good. Now it's important here, right, from this position here, when she's punching me, when I do this, right, because theoretically she's here. See, a lot of times when we practice, we're only practicing to here. So she's punching like she's going to hit me standing that far away. She's never going to hit me here, right? So I want her to be more here, okay? Because then I have to react here. So 1. So now I'm kind of diagonal to her. Now it's important that you do this quickly, because if you take too long here, she's got a free hand. All right, now she can punch me. She can grab the back of my hair. She can do whatever she wants. All right, so when I do this block, I'm going to go right into my elbow strike. So when she punches, I'm going to come 1, 2. Okay? So yeah, and you notice I moved my leg a little bit behind. Okay? So I'm trying to get the point of my elbow into the stomach area if I can. Okay? So Addie, go ahead and try that. So do your block. No, you're stepping with your right leg. So 1. Yep, and then right away, you're going to slide. Boom, there you go. Okay, so once you get that jab elbow with the point, right? Point and then spin. And then basically this one here, you're using the back part of your arm. Right? On the high side of the elbow, the tricep muscle. And you're swinging across, right? Hitting into the rib cage. Okay, so from here, Addie, what she did was here. Go ahead and do the block. 1. So she did the spin, elbow into my chest, and then boom, right there, just right into the rib cage. That's just to get my balance thrown off, right? Here, here. Okay, and then what happens from there, so once you slide back, and then she does this, here, my foot should be right in between her legs. So that basically what happens is when she bends over, her hip pushes my leg. So now I'm falling backward here, and then boom, I come down this way. Okay? All right? So on this particular one, what's important is when you're working with someone that's equal height, it's a little bit easier. When you're working with someone that's shorter than you, it makes it a little bit harder for you to do the fall and everything correctly. But what you want to do is when you're going to your back side, what should happen is don't put your arms out like this, all right? Just fall and kind of bring your arms across your body and then hit with the flat of your back. Now, this one's kind of hard because, right, we don't want to be taking a lot of shots here. So when we're practicing, a lot of times what I like to do is I like to go into a really deep front stance, because then when she does her lip, do your straddle here. Yeah, so she's getting ready to grab here. So when she does her grab, right, what I do is I'm going to drop down to my knee. So from here, when she grabs, I drop, and then when she lifts, you see, and then I can fall. Does that make sense? Right? Just makes it a lot easier for you not to take the brunt of a fall right now. Right? But if someone were to take your leg in real life, right, the natural tendency is to try to do this to catch yourself, and that's what we don't want to do. Right? Yeah. You don't want to do that. You actually just want to kind of tuck the chin in and then kind of hit with the flat of the back. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and let's try. I want you to try the takedown portion of it, or the fall down portion of it. So you're the victim. So you're going to go into that deep front stance here, right? And then you're going to visualize, right? Point of the elbow, side of the elbow, drop to your knee as they grab your foot, and then they lift and you fall to your back. Okay? And that'll help. Now, for you, Mr. Capshates, if I'm having you work on the really small individual, I may not have you fall at all. I might just say, you know, right? Part of this is also, too, sometimes, oh, yeah, when I start to go up and down a lot, you start to feel it a little bit and so forth. So we want to make sure that you're protected and that you're healthy when you're doing these. So, right? The kids are different, right? The kids, they fall down, they come back up, and they may pull something, and then a day later, they're fine. We pull something, and we're going to be out for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So we have to be very careful with this stuff. All right? Okay, good. So that particular one, once again, we did the outside in block. We came across, and then right away, spin into the elbow. Okay? And what you should do is once you do your outside in block here, make sure that your right hand grabs, or the hand that just blocked, that hand grabs the fist. That way you can pull in and get a good jab with that elbow. Okay, so you're fisted, and then you open up the hand, and then you kind of pull it back. Okay, and then swing it around to the other side. Yep. Okay? Yeah. So you want to do that double elbow, sir. Right? So you do the block, step back elbow, and then third elbow. So right there. So block, 1, 2. There you go. Yes. And once again, that's just to weaken the opponent. You know, you might get lucky and get a good jab elbow, and you can do just a 1 and then do the sweep. That could possibly happen too, right? But from a rhythmic standpoint, it's good to try to get both. That kind of prepares you for the grab. Yep. And then you'll turn to your, when you do that one, you'll turn to your left. And then you're going to do a left leg side kick. Boom. Okay, so now target for side kick. Target for side kick once you got the leg up. If it's a male, you go right to the groin. Right? Just like, almost like a foot stomp. All right? You could, all right? But yeah, you just want to drop down, boom, and get that side kick there. So 1, 1, 2, grab. I turn to the side, to the back side, because I don't want to, if I use the other leg, then I'm exposing my midsection. Okay? See from here, right? If I have Addie on the ground, if I'm doing her sweep here, so she's going down, she's down. If I turn this way, she's got a leg here. And see, I'm kicking with my left leg, which I shouldn't be. She can actually kick me in that process, right? In a kind of like just a retaliatory, it doesn't matter what she's doing. She can just flail that knee up, okay? But if I'm here, she can flail all she wants, right? I've got cushion on my backside, right? Boom, but I can just come down there, okay? So once again, we want to try to target groin area or stomach area for that. Okay, I know some people, sometimes they try to reach for the head. Head's too far away. Okay, you're going to have to kind of slide to get to the head. So we don't want to do that. Okay. No, you're adding too much. All right? Anything, you want it to keep it simple as possible. Try not to make too many movements. All right, makes it a lot easier. All right. Okay, so we've gone over the arc hand, 1, 2, the pull, right? And then we've done the elbow with the falling to the back. All right. Okay, so we'll do a couple more falling to the back. So now this time when your opponent punches, right? Just like that first one where we stepped on the inside, this next one we're going to step on the outside. Outside of the leg. Once again, we're going to dip a little bit, dip to the right, and then come up. At the same time we come up, we're going to do a knife hand block and a face punch again. So 1, or punch to the chin, right to the jaw, right? 2, uppercut again, right? Once again, we need to weaken that opponent so it makes the sweep a lot easier. And then from here, you'll grab the arm, and then with your right hand or your left hand, sir, you're going to reach over to your right side, and then you're going to sweep. You're taking the side of the leg out. So 1, they fall, and then punch or stomp. Yep, drop down and punch. Perfect. Okay? So you want to make sure, don't come straight in like this, because once again, this helps to buy some time, right? Right now, we haven't really been able to gauge how fast a punch is going to come in toward us, right? When we practice, it's always this, right? That's easy to block, but it's a lot harder if they're coming in full speed. So that's why we buy time by dipping, right? Dipping, kind of dodging, and then coming up, okay? So 1, 2, sweep the leg. So when you sweep, kind of tuck that thumb in like a knife hand, right? Come on the outside. Try to get pretty low to the leg, okay? So if you can get by the calf or the lower part here, that would be really good, okay? So you're grabbing on the outside part of it, right? And you're sweeping it this way. And that way I'm going to fall, okay? And it's the same thing, once again, right? Once they do the face and stomach punch, right? At that point, when you do the stomach punch, you can drop to your knee, right? And then, boom, then now you got the back fall. Okay, does that make sense? Yep. Because it's easy, it's a lot easier to fall from there than it is to fall from here. Okay? We get scared of falling from here. A lot easier to kind of fall from here and just drop and lift. Does that make sense? Okay. All right. I think your dad's trying to join us or something. It says Jason Giles. Uh-huh. He's probably checking on you, make sure that you're taking class, Miss Addie. Trying to slough off. All right. Okay. So another backside sweep. Okay. When we step to our left, when they punch, you're going to step with the left leg, horse riding stance, left palm block. Punch, punch. Okay. Then we grab with the right hand, the arm. We lift that right leg. We're going to do a side kick to the back of the knee, right? And then they fall on their knee, and then we come and we do the elbow strike. All right, so a couple of things to keep in mind here. So when she punches, here, I do my palm block. I want to block wrist, or I can block elbow. It doesn't matter. All right, elbow's better. Okay, elbow's better. And then 2 punches. So once I block here, I have to kind of angle my body toward her rib cage. 1, 2. Okay, all right, then I can reach and grab here. And then with my right leg, I'm going to do that side kick. Now, see, her position right now, her foot is like this. So if I really kick here, I'm going to destroy her knee. All right? And so because I don't really like her, right, I'm going to be nice to her. All right? Okay. So what I'm going to do is when I do this, I'm going to actually kick a little bit behind her knee to kind of help push her knee forward. That way she knows I need to drop forward. I need to fall forward. All right? So I'm putting my foot in the crease of her knee so it doesn't put any damage on her. All right? And then I hold on to the arm because why? 1, here she falls down, then I pull. So I'm going to hit her in the back of the head or the temple with my elbow, and you see how both of my arms work together. Okay? All right, go ahead and try that real quick. Grab. Yep. You actually, can you grab here really good? It's a lot easier to grab here, right? There you go. Good. Right leg side kick. Right leg side kick. All right. Boom. See? Boom. Hold on to this, right? Because then here, when you turn, you see you're pulling, and then see right there, right? Temple shot. So what you want to visualize is what I'm really doing is I'm actually not kicking here and stopping, right? I'm actually going to kick here. You see? I destroy her knee, boom, all the way through. And then I turn and I hit her and I destroy her head with my elbow. Right? And we're not using the point of the elbow, right? We're using the front part like we're doing elbow strike. Yep. Because it's in a turning motion. So, yep. And the reason why we want to hold on to that is because that's to kind of pull them into that elbow. Yeah. Because usually if you destroy the knee, all right, they're going to go, oh, with both hands. Oh, my knee hurts. And then if that happens, then basically both hands come down here if you don't hold on to the arm, and then you're going to swing at air. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's take a moment. Just go ahead and work through those real quick. Just those 3 or 4 that we just went through. Just make sure. And Mr. Captious, I want you to work on both sides, both left and right sides, sir. Okay? All right, Miss Addie, let's before I start watching Mr. Captious, right? So 1. Exactly. All right. All right, so try that again. See, much better. 1, 2, yank. Okay. All right, next one. Oh, come on.
Oh, God.
No. You'll stomp or you'll punch. Mm-hmm. Try that again. Don't get nervous. It's okay. 1, 1, 2. Mm-hmm. Well, just like that. So just try to keep it fluid. That's the biggest thing. All right. So don't go. You want to 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, go ahead and walk through those, kind of visualize. Take a look at Mr. Captious real quick. Don't forget that gut punch, sir. So the face and the gut. So 1, 2, pull to your, there you go, sir, good. Yep. Now, if you feel like you're going to lose your balance when you drop to your knee, sir, right, don't punch then. Because the other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have good balance. So if you pull here and you're going to go down to your knee and here and you're kind of stumbling, we don't want to do that. All right? I would rather see you just kind of, do your pull, 1 here and then stomp. That way you're balanced. But see, when you do that pull, don't drop. When you do that, you're dropping to your knee. Don't do that, sir. Just pull into a front stance. Yes. Yeah, see, easier transition, much quicker. If you end up dropping to your knee, it takes a lot of time to come back up. Yeah, part of takedowns is important. The important part is having your balance, right? Because if you're off balance and you try to sweep someone, chances are you're going to probably fall with them. And that's what we don't want to happen, right? We're Taekwondo people. We like to use our legs. We cannot use our legs when we're on the ground, all right? We want to stay upright, all right? Especially young ladies. Young ladies do not want to be on the ground at all. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and take a quick little break, get some water. All right, hydrate a little bit. Hello, sir. Addie's beating me up, sir. No, I don't think so. I have to be careful that I don't follow my pack here. I'll break that, break my $100 investment, and I'll probably crack my back too in the process, Miss Addie. Jeez, you're a bully. Yeah, you guys heard it. She's a bully.
So you let it happen. You're a black belt.
Oh, now she's saying I'm a black belt.
You're a black belt. You should be able to defend yourself.
I should be able to defend myself because I'm a black belt. Yeah. It's all right. Miss Hattie will be a lifetime senior blue belt at this point. So. Because I do hold grudges. And I remember everything. That is correct. Good. All right. All right, so one of the other takedowns that we have is the one where we grab the shoulder and we kind of kick upward, right? This is what we call a lifting kick, right? It's like if you were a kicker in the NFL, in the football, right? United States football. Those kickers, they like to kick with the arch of their foot. So when they come and hit, they come up sideways like this. Okay, and that's the same thing that we're going to do. We're going to utilize the arch of our foot when we do this lifting kick. Okay, and what happens there? So what happens there is when I'm here in this position to do the lifting kick, I grab the shoulder to gain my leverage. Okay, and then as I'm pulling, I'm gonna aim for the heel to the Achilles tendon of the front leg. That she's the one that she's standing on. So I'm going to aim with my arch of my foot. Okay? So I'm going to come up this way. I'm going to sweep that leg, right? So it doesn't happen. Obviously, right now, if she's in a really solid stance, I'm not going to be able to sweep her off her feet right now. Okay? So I have to do some precursor attacks to weaken her, right? So we can go back and we can do the punches again right? So now this time when we do that sweep, yeah, do your palm block. You can do your palm block here, right? You can do, if we do 2 punches, that's going to be for the side kick. Okay? Palm block, 3 punches, then we can do the grab and sweep. And the reason for that is because we want to switch hands each time. No. So we don't want to punch and grab with the same hand. We block, punch, 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 grab. Yes. Okay, so we don't want to get into the habit of blocking and then trying to grab with the same hand. Okay? Yep. Okay. So, and I tell kids too, if you can't grab the shoulder, because obviously some shoulders are really big, you just grab a hold of the shirt. Right? And then you pull back, right? Because now you got some leverage because the collar of the shirt will be pulled into the neck. Plus, you've already weakened them with the punches. Yeah. But yeah, you just want to make sure here, when you pull back here, boom. So it's the same thing here, right? Once you get to the 3rd punch, you can drop to your knee. Drop to your knee. And then that makes this sweep easier, right? If you're comfortable falling from up here, then yeah, absolutely. You can go and go down. Once again, though, when you start to go to your back, a lot of tendency is to let the head kind of relax. We want to keep the head tucked into our chin. That prevents our head from slamming into the ground, right? A small little slam like that, you might give yourself a little concussion. We don't want that to happen. All right. So a lot of times it's easier when you're down here to get swept and then fall on your back. Makes it a lot easier. All right. So you can do a single punch, or you can, if you're strong, just do one punch. Mr. Captious, you only need to do one punch. Right? Miss Addie needs to do 3 to 5 punches because she's not very strong. So we need like 3 to 5 punches for Addie to be effective. All right. But like for you, Mr. Captious, one punch, you can go block, punch, grab, sweep. It just needs to be an odd number. Does that make sense, sir?
Yeah, it does.
Okay.
Is there any punch in the end or stamping, anything? No?
At the end, once you sweep, yeah, you can punch, you can stomp,
Yeah.
you can drop a knee, you can drop an elbow. They're on the ground, so it's pretty easy. You know, people say, oh yeah, let's drop an elbow. Yeah, you can drop an elbow, but just be prepared that when you drop an elbow, you're gonna be on the ground too.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, so yeah, you know, I mean, because yeah, I've seen people where they sweep here, they punch, or they want to drop down to an elbow, because elbows are very effective.
Mhm.
All right, but the problem is that you end up on the ground as well when you drop. You know, you drop far enough to get an elbow down, you're gonna be on the ground too.
Yeah, makes sense.
Right, and from a self-defense standpoint, what's the #1 rule? We actually want to escape.
Mhm.
Right. So what we're doing right now is engaging because there are no other alternatives. We can't escape, right? I can't run away from Addie because she's lightning fast, right? So I have to fight,
Mhm.
right? She's trying to harm my imaginary family here, so I have to fight. I have to defend my family. I have to do what I need to defend, right? So that they can escape. And that's the thing. We want to be able to escape. So if we can, try to get in a position where disable her enough where we can, like for me, I'm going to take her knee out so that she can't catch up with me when I start running.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
So that's a part of this process, right? When we started with those 3-step sparrings, it was kind of think about, oh yeah, learn how to block, push things out of the way, get things out of the way so you don't get hit. And then eventually, oh, I got to counterattack. I got to attack back, right? So that 3-step sparring, you had time to think about what you wanted to do. Now we incorporate now we go to 1 step. Now we're thinking a little bit quicker. You don't have 3 punches to think about what you want to counterattack. You have 1 punch. You have to think quickly. What am I going to do? Which way am I going to step? What am I going to block? Where am I going to block? Which way am I going to go? Right? And then the next level of this is the takedowns. Now the ability, right? Because we need to know, we need to know how to take people to the ground so that gives us more time for escape. Right? Because yeah, I can punch her, and if she's still on her feet, I can escape, but chances are, right, if she's fast, like I think she is, then she's going to catch me eventually. Right? So I need to do something to disable her. I need to get her to the ground. That buys me more time. If I take out her knee, I take out her leg, that buys me more time. If I break her arm, it buys me more time for me to escape. And that's the ultimate goal, right? So this is just engagement just in the event that you don't have an escape, an easy escape. All right. And then when we get to the red belt level, now we start thinking about grabs. What happens if someone grabs you and starts to pull you? What are you going to do? Because right now we haven't done anything. We're talking about, yeah, you have the ability to move out of the way because I'm punching. I don't have a hold of you. Right. The next and final part is, okay, now I got a hold of you. What am I going to do? What are you going to do? What is little Abigail going to do if some man comes up behind her and grabs both of her arms or her shoulders? What can she do? That's the next level. And so we work on those. That's where we start thinking about wrist locks and joints, pressure points. All right. And then finally, you know, then we start thinking about weapons. How do we defend against someone who has a knife? How do we defend against someone who has a gun? What can I do to protect? Right? Understanding the risks that are associated with a knife. Right? Some people are so scared of a knife that they won't do anything. Right? They freeze up. Whereas if you at least have a general confidence, right? Yes, I might get cut. Right? I can handle getting cut, right, rather than dying, right? So if I only get cut out of this and I don't die, then it's good. It's a good thing, right? But understanding that risk when I get ready to engage that person that's trying to do harm to me. So that's what we do, is we're trying to build these things up, because eventually, like even with the self-defense techniques, we're going to learn to take our assailant to the ground. They grab my arm, they twist my arm. You know, if I'm twisting her arm, whatever, she's the bad person, right? She's hurting me. I'm going to twist her arm. I can get into an arm lock. I'm going to take her to the ground, right? So part of that is that goes back to the takedown piece that we're working on.
Right.
And you're going to see a lot of, you know, the one-step techniques where we blocked and we, you know, go at a joint or and we turn, we grab and we turn things, right? That's what self-defense is all about, is utilizing techniques to make sure that it's very uncomfortable for the other person, right? Trying to get their elbow to bend in the wrong direction, trying to get their wrist to bend in the wrong direction, trying to get their neck to turn in the wrong direction so that they're very uncomfortable. It's the same thing with legs, right? Ankle locks, right? Those types of things. When it comes to self-defense, everything goes, right? Everything goes, right? You can scratch, right? You can dig your finger into someone's eye if you need to, whatever you need to do. But you have to be prepared. That's the thing, is we have to be prepared that if we're going to use that level of force, it has to be warranted, right? If someone's just pushing you, I'm not going to go up and stick my thumbs into their eyes, right, and blind them. It's a little bit excessive, right? But, right, if they have a gun or whatever and they make an attempt to try to harm me, then yes, maybe that warrants that, where I have to now blind him so he can't see me and I can run away. Right? So, you know, there's a lot of moral thinking that occurs. That has to occur quickly too, because one, you're scared when that situation happens, and then you have to be able to think quickly and rationally, right, to be able to assess and and put the same amount of, you know, diligence in what you choose to do based on what's warranted. You know?
Right. Yep. It makes sense.
Because I mean, ultimately, the techniques that we're learning here, if we do them properly to the very best, to the proper of our ability, we're going to do a lot of harm to people and up to potentially killing them. Right? You don't realize that a punch to the temple can potentially kill someone. A punch to the chest can potentially kill someone. Right? When you hit someone hard enough with a punch, right, you can alter the beating of that heart. You can stop that heart from beating. And then you can end up doing serious damage to that particular person. So, you know, the things that we're doing, sometimes it seems, you know, very lighthearted, but the reality is that these techniques, if they're done correctly and we're doing the things in the right way, right, they're geared to keep you safe, to get you out of a situation, right, and inflict the least amount of harm, right? That's basically what we want, because we don't want to live with the guilt of defending ourselves and having someone die in that process, right? That would be very difficult, you know, and that's one of the things, like with cops and, you know, people in the military. Yeah, they're taught to kill these people, but then there's the PTSD piece, right? The trauma that's associated with the guilt that you killed someone, even though that person was trying to kill you, you still lived with, you took a life, right? And that's not easy for us to kind of deal with. It's something that's very, you know, very difficult, you know?
Right. No, that's right.
So, you know, there's a lot more to it than just the movements that we're teaching you. There's a lot to kind of think about if you really understand what the martial art is all about, right? The fact that we do the kicking up and down the floor, that's exercise, right? That's training our body so that we're not thinking about things. But the techniques that we do, our front kicks, our axe kicks, our roundhouse kicks, every kick that we know, if it's executed properly on a target, it's going to do a lot of damage, all right? And so knowing that, we have to exercise extra caution.
Sure.
Now, that's where it comes to the legality of all of this. So, right, you become certified. When you become black belt, you get that certification from World Taekwondo, right? That's a worldwide database that your name goes into. So what that means is that at that point there, you're considered lethal. You're not subject to the normal laws anymore. So someone comes up to you and someone starts a fight with you and you engage, right? And you, let's say you break their jaw or whatever, you're not subject to the normal laws that someone who's straight off the street that doesn't know anything.
Oh, interesting.
We're held to a higher standard. All right. So it means that basically we have to be provoked, right? We can't just, oh, she seems very threatening. I better do something. I have to unfortunately wait for her to do something before I can do something. Right? Once again, I'm not subject to the normal laws. It's like people in the military, people in law enforcement. They're not subject to that standard law that most people are. We literally have to wait for something to happen before we can act because of what we know.
Sure. Yeah, makes sense.
So yeah, so it's a lot to think about besides just the action of the blocks, the punches, the movements, all that stuff. There's a lot to kind of weigh. It starts to weigh a little heavy if you start to think about it. But at least from a standpoint, you do have the ability to defend not only yourself, but your loved ones, right? In an effective manner.
Yeah.
Okay. So, all right. Well, I talked your ear off for the last half, so I do apologize. I guess we could have gone through a few more takedowns, but I'll set up another session maybe in a couple weeks and we'll do it again and we'll hit some of the other ones. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Chidit and Kyungna. Have a great night.
Thank you
Great
so
holiday.
much.
All right. Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Yep. You're welcome, sir.
Happy 4th of July.
Same to you too, sir.
Thank
Thank
you. Bye.
Bye-bye.